What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with episode 6 of our History of the Dragon Ball Super card game mini-series. This is going to be a smaller episode, because during the time between Set 3 and Set 4, we didn't really get a lot of product, not a lot of support. We did get the Draft Box 2, though, which had some pretty interesting leaders. I won't say that any of them were game-breaking for sure, but they were a lot of fun to play, and some of them you could get really crazy with. For red, we had the Universe 6 Super Saiyan Caulifla running wild. This leader was interesting because not only did it have the Saiyan and Alien tag, it also had the Universe 6 tag. So you could play it in conjunction with the Tournament of Power support. And she had a really good activate main where you just take a card from your life and choose all of your non-black battle cards and the leader, and everything got plus 5,000 power. So you got to give everything a boost for no cost. Got to add a card to your hand. You could self-awaken. The only thing is you couldn't give the boost to black cards, or at the time really it was just Overrealm support. So not really a big hindrance. You could still play Overrealm in the deck. You would have one card a turn that didn't get 5,000 power. So really nothing to worry about at all. And she got the same ability on the Awaken side. And when you combine that with like the Veggie package, and how easy it was to get out that stuff, and you could even combine it with the Fearless Pan from Crossworlds to give all of those red cards an additional 5,000 power plus double strike. So it was a really cool leader to see. Didn't really make a huge impact on the game, but a lot of people did play it with various builds, and definitely a good leader, a unique ability for sure. And really worked well with swarm decks and decks that could get a lot of cards on the board relatively quickly, and just be able to hammer you down with extra 5,000 on all of them. Then for blue, we had one of the worst, but one of the best looking leaders ever. On the Awakened side, the colors just stood out fantastically. The art was superb, and even the foiling just made everything pop out. It was fantastic. But this leader was super subpar. Not only was he a Universe Survival Saga leader, but he didn't even have the Universe 7 trait. So you couldn't use him at all with the Tournament of Power support like you could with the Caulifla leader, which was kind of bullshit, but well, whatever, we'll go with it. He even had the generic, when you attack a leader, draw a card. That's how bad this leader was. He had the Set 3 syndrome, and it was terrible, and it was disgusting. Awakened, he was no better. You had to have 6 or more energy to use his ability. You had to choose a card in your life and add it to your energy, which is great and all. You got an extra energy for nothing, but you didn't get it until freaking turn 6 if you weren't playing with ramp. And then, if you had 2 or less life after using that ability, he gained 10,000 power for the turn. Okay, cool. So he's 25,000 single strike, and you are on the verge of death, and you had to wait until turn 6 if you even made it to turn 6. I don't think anybody even played this leader. I don't think anybody even tried to, because he's so freaking terrible. At least the Caulifla leader, she had support she could use. She had a great ability. She didn't support any archetype or anything like that, but she supported everything on the board. This Goku doesn't support anything but himself, and by the time it happens, either you're already dead or somehow you have won while playing this shitty-ass leader. Easily one of the stupidest leaders we got was Saiyan Delusion Hercule, but I will say it was one of the most fun leaders to play around with too. Again, he had a unique ability just like Caulifla. Instead of just being garbage like the Goku leader, having 1,000 battle power on the Unawakened side and having 5,000 awakened, you were having to combo out against every attack, from leaders to battle cards. Even some of the weakest battle cards could attack you and pressure you into having to combo. However, if it was your turn, you got to look at 2 cards from the top of your deck and combo with any battle cards there. So it gave you a lot of combo power offensively, leaving you defensively to have to kind of defend yourself with blockers and negates. On the Awakened side, he had a really cool ability to place all cards in your hand in the drop area, and he gained 5,000 power for each of them. Then if you gave 5 or more, he gained triple strike. So, pitch your whole hand, he gains a butt ton of damage, and then triple strike. And it was kind of just a gimmicky little finisher, because it was activate main, So your opponent could just go, oh, well, he just dumped all his cards, now I'm going to negate it. Whereas if it was activate battle, it would be past the negate phase. Would already be in battle. It wouldn't be able to negate the attack. Don't know that it made much of a difference as far as the leader being in any kind of competitive format. But the leader was fun to use. There's a lot of different ways you can abuse his ability to just combo with whatever. Because we've got the +1 draw 1, the GT Goku. We've got the Cell. You've got some of the cards that I can't think of what their title is. Where you draw 2 cards and then put 1 back. It's just, there's a lot of cool things you could do with this. I myself played Great Apes with it, just because you could combo with the Great Apes, and then you got to evolve them for free, and it was just kind of a gimmicky little thing. Really cool leader, something unique for them to do. Probably not the best thing for them to do if they actually want you to use the leader outside of a draft format, or outside of just fun battles with your friends, but at least it wasn't as terrible as the Full Power Son Goku. Then lastly, we had my personal favorite. We had Saiyan Power Great Ape Bardock. The art on both sides of this card was just fantastic. A lot of people speculated, because he had the Scouter, that he was going to be Frieza's army. And honestly, a part of me wished he would have been, just because it would have gave me a leader I actually enjoyed using, that I could have used Cold Bloodlust with. But I advocated from the very beginning that he wasn't going to, just because Bardock is the embodiment of resistance against Frieza, even though Goku's the one that killed him, and so did Trunks, blah blah. But Bardock is the one that's known for going, hey, Frieza, fuck yourself. So, this leader had the same ability on the front and the back. It really wasn't super defining, but being able to switch one of your opponent's battle cards to rest mode, there's a lot of support in the game that either helps you put cards in rest mode, or gives you abilities once a card has been switched to rest mode. Then you also had cards like the Tora and some of the other apes that gained abilities whether you put them in rest mode or allowed you to put cards in rest mode. And the Leader's Awakened side did the same thing, but it didn't have a restriction on it. Of course, now there's a ton of support that this leader could kind of take advantage of with cards like the Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan in Set 2, and then we've got, from the Ultimate Box, you've got the 3-drop that does that. You've got the Vegeta GT from the Cross Worlds Tournament Pack, and there's just other cards that deal damage or have some kind of ability trigger when you KO a battle card in rest mode. And so this leader kind of plays along with it. Again, because it's a draft box, it's just another fun leader. It's not really, I guess it's not really meant to have a whole lot of impact on the meta. I don't know if they were kind of expecting the Mecha Frieza from Draft Box 1 to do that, because the other 3 leaders didn't really do much at all. Like, the Goku was interesting, but didn't really do anything. Gotenks was cool, but again, Green had just such shitty support. And so that kind of really just left the Vegeta, the Crit Vegeta, but people would rather run the blue one over the red one. And again, the same thing happened with this box. Not really anything to impact the meta, but it was all just kind of, fun stuff. Like the Caulifla powered all your battle cards, but didn't really support anything in particular. Same thing goes with the Bardock. It gave you a unique ability to be able to just rest anything you wanted, outside of cards with barrier. But you could just run anything with it. You could run apes, you could run the red burn battle cards, you could run just about anything, because it didn't matter what you played. Your ability was so generic that any deck could take advantage of it. Still the best of the 4 in my personal opinion. Caulifla's probably got the better ability overall, but I just love the Bardock. Bardock's the coolest, and the art on both sides of this card is just fantastic. So this one was really short and sweet. Not a lot to discuss with just the draft box. There wasn't a lot of support that came out around that time. The leaders, again, they weren't really made for a competitive environment. They were made strictly for draft play and to just give you some really unique abilities to just kind of goof off with when you're playing with a deck that more than likely in a draft you're not going to have anything that's super solid as far as archetypes. So you're just kind of fitting in the best cards that you possibly can. And that's kind of what these leaders kind of went along with, is just kind of to help you out, to give you abilities that you could use with anything instead of being, good for one thing in particular. But if you guys are enjoying the series, I know a lot of you are. We've been doing pretty well with the videos so far. So hit that like button down below for us. We'll have some better ones for you with Crossworlds coming up, and then we've got the World Martial Arts Tournament next after that. So we're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.